All right, guys. We've just seen two very epic PvPs. The series is tied 1-1 between KI Fire and VT Future. Map number 3 going to be Tal'Darim Altar. Here we go. This is, of course, the round of 16 in the Alienware Arena. These guys have played through 2 days of competition already, and there are 16 that remain. Future and Fire are two of them. And man, we've just saw two excellent PvPs. I never thought I would ever say those words. But man, that last game was intense. Stargate versus Robo. Stargate is supposed to win. Stargate did in fact win, but boy, was it a nail biter. And so here we have VT Future in the top right-hand position of Tal'Darim Altar. His opponent, of course, KI Fire. This was his map choice. And he feels like he's the better macro player, so he's picking the bigger macro map. We will see if in fact this is the case. Fire versus Future. So now both of these guys have a bit of a tendency to favor robo play. Of course, we did see a deviation from that by Future in the last game. In game number 1, both going basically one base robo, Future expanding first and dying to a timing push. Game number 2, Fire played the exact same robo opening, but could not deal with the Phoenixes from Future. And that just kind of put him so far behind that he was not able to really bounce back. He did show us some really cute DT play, knocking out the expansion of Future, but as soon as that happened, Future knocked out the expansion of his opponent with a Zealot a Charge Lot Archon push. And it was just a crazy fun, exciting game. I sure enjoyed it. I hope you guys did too. This is, of course, the deciding match. The winner of this will move on to the round of 8. And I'm not sure who they'll be playing, but I'm sure it'll be freaking epic. So once again, both these guys using very, very similar openings. Single gas, single gate, making probes and pylons. This time, Future managing not to fall a probe behind. So hats off to you there, sir. Cybercore goes down for Fire, and he's got a couple seconds on his opponent with that. And we're just going to have to wait and see how this thing shapes up. Now, Tal'Darim Altar is an interesting map in that it has this whole dynamic of the push positions, right? If you're pushing from Fire's base to Future's base, you're going to come upon the back of his natural very, very quickly. And this can make two-base Colossus pushes extraordinarily difficult to deal with because Colossi can just sit back here on the low ground, shell your mineral line, and there's not a whole lot that you can really do to contest to that. So positionally, should we see a game that reaches that point, this might favor Fire. However, this is not a rampless. Excuse me. This is a rampless map, which makes 4-gate very viable here. And I know that Future's the type of guy that loves to go 4-gate when the situation calls for it. But what in the world are we seeing here? Okay, yep, there it is. 4 gateways down for Future. He's even going to let Fire scout it. He doesn't care. And in response, Fire is going to throw down 3 more gateways of his own. So we're going to see an offensive 4-gate against a defensive 4-gate. And Warp Gate still only about halfway done for Future. So we're not going to see the aggression picking up just yet. But this is absolutely going to hinge on the control. This is I guess, classic PvP. Look at Future throwing down this pylon in his natural. I'd be really interested to see if he just expands. That'd be crazy. There's a mind game for you. I can't imagine that being a good idea, though, when you force your opponent into a defensive 4-gate, because as soon as he realizes that something changed, he'll just come push. So we see a little bit of an engagement. Looks like it's shaping up here. Future does have the distinct unit advantage, but he's not going to chase. Only going to knock out the shields of Fire Zealot. And Fire, I take it back. He's not going to be defensive at all. He's going to take the forward position on the map, throwing down the proxy pylon. It looks like he wants to be the first to... he wants to be the hand that strikes first. Our stream hitting a little bit of a lag spike there. A lot of Stalkers being warped in the base of Fire. Those are going to just walk up to reinforce. And look at this. Future knows the pylons here, and he's going to be able to pick it off. And that's not a huge victory, but it is absolutely a victory because that's going to supply block his opponent. There will be no reinforcements from fire for a little while, and he's having to panic and throw down a pylon kind of in haste. And this is going to give Future an opportunity to pull ahead. Look, he's got a 9 supply advantage. If he can force a fight to happen right here, he's absolutely going to be able to win it. The question is, can he find the army of his opponent? It doesn't look like he's going to. Instead, he's just going to position his own pylon. Whoa! Now he sees it, and as soon as he does, fire hits his warp in, so things are very, very even. On the unit tab, we can see 8 Stalkers to 8 Stalkers, but Future does have a very large Zealot advantage. Fire managing to pick off a Stalker, though, and warp in 2 more, so it's 6 Zealots and 7 Stalkers against 1 Zealot and 9 Stalkers. And Fire going to be forced to kite. I feel like Future is getting the better of this engagement. He is going to kill a Stalker here, and he's also going to pick off another pylon. This is going to supply block Fire once again, and Future's got to be feeling worlds of confidence right now. He's going to warp in right here and continue to push the issue. And Fire's in a full retreat, guys. This could be it. 51 supply to 42. I can't see any way for Fire to hold here. Future pouring up the ramp with tons of units. Fire is just running back to his base with as much haste as possible. He's got no sentries, no force field, and a huge unit advantage for Future. He's going to force the issue. Stalker's running out trying to get us around, but the army of Fire just evaporating under the superior numbers of VT Future. He pours into the main. Zealots are going to go down. Probes are going to be pulled. And with just a little bit of micro, that's going to be all she wrote. Excellent series out of these guys. Fire taking the first game with a great timing push, but Future taking games 2 and 3 with just superior control, superior decision making. Great games, great set. VT Future advances to the round of 8. We ready? All right, guys, here we go. This is the Alienware Arena. My name is Mr. Bitter, and I'm here to bring you guys the round of 8 match between Dignitas Select and the newly named Rain Spades. This has been a really exciting tournament thus far. Tons of big name players still alive and kicking. We've seen LZ Gamer playing some Zerg. We've seen VT Future winning some PvP. And there's a ton of other great guys in this tournament still alive. We've got Rise from Complexity still in it. We've got Axlat from EG still in it. And as we kind of get into the later stages of this thing, the cream is really starting to rise to the top. For this match, we do have Spades against Select. Select, of course, needs no introduction. He's spawning as the Red Terran player up here in the top right-hand corner of the map. Select has been probably since release of StarCraft 2 the top foreigner Terran in all of the scene. Now, it's kind of hard to call him a foreigner in the classical sense of the word because he is native Korean, but he's been living in Canada and North America. So I guess he's as much ours as he is theirs, if I may be so bold. And he's just been absolutely tremendous. He wins almost everything he enters. He's always a top finisher. Super, super powerful, talented Terran player. His opponent, of course, Spades of Team Rain. Team Rain, of course, the new, quote, powerhouse pro team in North America. They're taking the first steps to really create a true pro house inside of the foreigner scene. They're going to be moving to San Francisco here very soon. Of course, they're part of the VT organization, and I know all these guys. They're all very near and dear to my heart, so I'll be pulling for Spades just a little bit. Caster bias is always a fun thing to talk about on the forums. Now, Spades is probably one of the most underrated Terran players that I know. Or just players that I know, period. He's absolutely amazing. His macro is spot on. His multitask is top tier. His control is excellent. The Koreans, well, he practices with Koreans quite regularly, top tier Koreans, and they always hold him in such high regard. But inside the foreigner scene, he doesn't get as much credit as he's really due. I mean, that's just the fact of the matter. He's a super strong player, and he's always a contender to win things. But players don't seem to put him in the same league as a Select, which is not fair because he is just as good, in my opinion. So let's talk about the game a little bit. Both players opting for single gas early. Spades throwing down a fast factory, and Select getting a reactor on his barracks. So this is interesting. Gonna see some reactored Marines, I guess. I don't see any other tech anywhere. So I mean, that's the only thing that really stands to reason. Ah, there we go. That makes more sense. So he's gonna use reactored Marines to keep his fast expansion nice and safe. Now Spades going 1 racks, 1 factory, and then he's only on 1 gas, so I don't think he's going to go 1 starport. So we'll see what that's all about. Going to throw down the tech lab. Maybe he's just going to move into some marine tank stuff. Going to play it a little bit more standard, playing a little bit more safe. Select's definitely taking a risk with this fast expansion. And I think this gamble might pay off because Spades does not appear to be taking a very aggressive stance on the map. At least not yet. His command center going down in the main, so he certainly looks like he wants to just kind of expand as well. But his expo is going to be up, I don't know, a good 2 minutes later than Select's. So, I mean, Select expanding on the low ground, he's going to immediately be able to mine from that base. And Spades is not in a position to really pressure it at all. Ooh, I lied, getting pre-igniter Hellions. Now, this changes everything because pre-igniter Hellions are super good against Hellions. And what has Spade seen? Like, how does he... I'm sorry, pre-igniter Hellions are super good against Marines. I can't imagine what has tipped him off as to what's going on here. But this is almost the perfect response to what he's seeing out of Select. Now, Select is going to use this reactor to power out some Hellions of his own. But I have to feel like there's going to be a pretty healthy window inside of which Spades can do some damage with these Blue Flame Hellions against the very, very light army of Select. So we'll see if Spades actually chooses to push out, and he does. So we are seeing a little bit of pressure coming forward here. Spades has 6 Marines and 3 Hellions with Blue Flame finishing. It's not quite done yet, but in just a few seconds, he's going to have a truly powerful weapon against this army of Select. So there's the first volley. Red Flame, and oh, surprise Select, Blue Flame Hellions. Your Marines are going to roast. Nice control here by Select. Focus firing those Hellions. The Hellions are light, so they do take extra damage. But look at this. Spades just focusing down the Marines and the Hellions of Select. And now Select is in trouble. He is going to repair that Hellion. Spades going to just focus down some SCVs here. Oh, another Hellion up. Some SCVs are going to get roasted. The Select microing his heart out. But Spades in a tremendous position here. Killing some SCVs on the units tab. We can see that Select still has an SCV lead, but he's not going to be able to mine from this expansion. And Spades is still doing damage. Select will be safe behind his wall, I think. But I don't know. I guess he's going to be okay here. He's kind of chasing away, not even chasing away, just outright killing the units that Spades has. But look at this Blue Flame Hellion against Red Flame Hellion. I wonder which one's going to win that fight. So Spades going to be content to just kind of take his expansion now. So I love it. I love it. Spades was behind, but with a bold move, he knocks down the army of Select and evens things up. He is still down 2 SCVs, but immediately dropping 3 mules on that expansion. He's going to be able to mine quite well with that. We can see on the income tab, he's a full 200 minerals per minute. Wow, 500 minerals per minute ahead of his opponent. Banshee out now for Select. That's an interesting transition and one that I totally missed. He's also researching Cloak. Now this could ruin Spades' day, as he has no Marines anywhere on the map. Only Hellion. He does have that Viking, though, so the Viking will help. But this Banshee's going to do a lot of damage. Cloak is still far from finished. Where is Spades' Viking? Oh, it's on the wrong side of the map, so he has nothing to answer to this Banshee. And by the time he has anything out, he's got another Viking popping out just now. Cloak is going to be finishing. Select's just kind of running for the hills. He's got 10 seconds on Cloak. This Viking trying to get this Banshee killed. Will Cloak finish in time? Meanwhile, Hellions pouring at the map. Oh my god, so many SCVs out of position, and all these SCVs are going to die. Huge blow to the economy of Select. And the Viking does kill the Banshee as Select was furiously microing back home. So huge damage being dealt there. And now Spades has an absolutely decisive lead. As he killed 20 SCVs. Count them, folks. Select in big trouble for sure. Throwing down a turret now because he doesn't want a Banshee switch to catch him off guard. And Spades is just powering out more Hellions now off of a reactor. So he's going to have a large amount of Blue Flame Hellions. Select in the meantime just making tanks and Banshees and Hellions of his own. Very similar unit composition being aimed for by both these players. Is Blue Flame a thought for Select? It is actually it's done. So he has Blue Flame. So that is something to keep in mind. Nothing is going to even things up faster than some Blue Flame Hellions into the mineral lines of Spades. And look at this. Look, Select is setting this up beautifully. He wants to attack with a Banshee in the back, divert Spades' attention, and then run these Hellions in the front. It's all going to come down to this barracks. Will the barracks land in time to block? And I think it will. These Hellions are not going to be able to run in and wreak havoc upon the mineral line of Spades. But this cloaked Banshee sure as heck will. 4 kills, 5 kills, 6 kills. He's going to get more and more and more kills on that Banshee. But the scan going down, and these Vikings are going to shoo the Banshee away. On the units tab, we can see Spades still has an 8 Harvester lead, but Blue Flame Hellions coming in the front. I don't think Spades sees it. Select gets a couple of SCV kills, but they're not lining up like they did for Spades. So Spades is going to, I guess, avoid the worst of that. And still staying on top of this Banshee does finally knock out the Cloaked Banshee. And a push materializing here for Select Banshees, a tank, and a Viking huffing and puffing down the map. So whoa, big push coming from Spades as well, and Spades has the far superior army here, almost 1,100 minerals and 800 gas uh, to his advantage here. And wow, look at this, Select just getting murdered as Spades just attack moves through the middle of the map. Tanks going down just before they can even do any damage of their own. The Hellions being controlled very well though. And Spades' Vikings are kind of out of position to deal with this Banshee, which is picking off so many tanks. The Banshee does fall, but Select able to pull stuff off the line and somehow hold. And if you look at the units lost, Select is definitely behind, but miraculously, I can't imagine. It doesn't make sense, but he holds there. Beautiful defense. Excellent control. If we look at the APMs of these two players, both of them blazing along. Select 250 APM. Vikings landing in the main. They're going to pick off, I guess, a couple Hellions maybe. That's kind of cute. And just the harassment and the action, just non-stop, start to finish. Vikings going to maybe even kill a barracks. They could land here again. There's nothing to keep these Vikings from landing and killing some SCVs, and down they go. So SCVs of Select being forced to defend, and Spades is just darting in and out here. We can see Select macro slipping quite a bit here, up to almost 1,200 minerals. Spades keeping his money nice and low. Lots of tanks, lots of Hellions, and Vikings as well being powered out off of this reactor. What has happened to those Vikings of Spades? They've gone home now. And if we look here again on the units lost tab, Spades has killed 21 workers. Select has killed 19, so very, very close in that regard. 44 SCVs to 44 SCVs, but the critical difference here is Spades is about to secure a gold base. And as soon as he does, wait a second, what did I just miss? What did I just miss? Hellion with 23 kills! What in the world is going on here? So for all the lead that that Spades had built for himself, it's just gone in a heartbeat. Blue Flame Hellions are so good, completely cleaning out the natural Select, piling on more pressure with his Cloaked Banshee, and Spades, having played such a beautiful game up to this point, his economy now going to be in shambles. He is going to transfer all of his workers up to this gold base, or maybe they're just going to sit idle. But holy smokes, man! Spades was playing just a beautiful TVT, keeping Select in check at every turn. But at the drop of a hat, the Hellions getting into the mineral line and just dealing tremendous game-ending damage. Spades still hasn't put his workers back to work, and now things are not looking so good for Spades, who is behind in supply. His army is still larger than his opponents, but his economy, well, you know, this gold base really, really paying for itself. But whoa, 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 so many tanks, 9 siege tanks, 7 Hellions, and a Banshee. So Spades is in no way going to be able to challenge this expansion of Select, and I feel like this is the beginning of the end for my buddy Spades, as look at this Banshee continuing to be annoying. I gotta say, guys, the thing that most impresses me about Select is his relentless harass. Spades gonna force the issue and make a fight happen here. Gonna pick off some Hellions, but Select able to siege up and force Spades back. As Spades enters siege mode, he is gonna be kind of controlling the space, but he's got no vision. And Select does have Vikings there to spot, picking off a couple more siege tanks. Spades starting to kind of fall to pieces here, as ooh, he does have the superior Viking numbers, though. This is going to help for sure. Spades going to get a good scan on the siege tanks there. And so things are going to kind of start to stalemate a little bit. But the economy of Spades just nowhere near the economy of Select. We can see Select is outmining him significantly, and he's not even dropping mules on this gold base. So Select is doing a great job of slowly pushing up and constricting the space around Spades' third base, and he's being forced to now pull SCVs off the line. Siege tanks do have a range on those top mineral patches, so Spades not even able to mine off this gold base. Select's just absolutely brutal. More Hellions in the back, more SCVs being killed. The multitasking of Select is just out of this world. Everywhere you turn, there is There is another attack happening, shift queuing these Hellions up into the main of Spades. More SCVs are going to die. One down, two, three down, and now they're finally dealt with. But man, the damage has just been absolutely substantial. Look at this Select sieging up from every angle. These tanks being misplaced though, so nothing going to come of that. The macro of Spades as well having just gone to pieces. 2,000 minerals and no gas to speak of. So Select just multitasking like a champion. Unbelievable. This is why he's been considered one of the best 400 Terrans in the world for so long. Um, Snatching victory from the jaws of defeat, I would say. He was so far behind. And look, more Hellions running into the main of Spades, splitting them up even. So Hellions in the natural and the main at the same time. And this is just more harassment than Spades is equipped to deal with. Vikings being forced to land. All the SCVs in the main are virtually gone. 21 SCVs to 57. Finally, Spade's able to mine at the gold base, but his macro again, far from even. It's just not good. So Select's definitely not in a position to just push and win yet, but he's got such a tremendous amount of map dominance, and Select, not with the Viking, I guess air supremacy is what you would call it. Doesn't have the air supremacy, so he's not able to really directly challenge Spades in that regard. But look at this: as soon as he sees Spades on siege, he just pushes up, picks off a few more SCVs, sieges up again in range of the command center. Such excellent control here. It's like he's playing a chess game, and Spades is forced to GG. And man, dominant game from there from Select. Spades opened so well, got so far ahead, did such a good job of controlling the early game, but just at the drop of a hat, guys. That's how quickly Blue Flame can turn things around. Select takes game number 1, and it's going to be on Spades to choose where we play for game number 2.